Heartwarming moment. After 3 shocking slaps, a black woman stepped up, transforming courtroom justice. Mia Johnson sat in the crowded courtroom, the air thick with tension. Her heart raced as she watched Mr. Thompson, the local business owner, leaned back in his chair, emanating arrogance. Whispers swirled around her like a whirlwind, each word a reminder of the deep divide in their small town of Maplewood. People glanced at her, their eyes wide with either admiration or disdain. She could feel the weight of her struggles, single motherhood, and caring for her disabled veteran father, yet it all paled in comparison to the injustice unfolding before her. "Your Honor," Mr. Thompson began, dismissing the allegations with a wave of his hand, "these claims are baseless." His smugness rippled through the crowded room. Mia's breath hitched as he moved seamlessly through justifications while families like hers bore the scars of his decisions. Each syllable he uttered felt like a slap, not just to her, but to every family struggling in silence. As the energy shifted in the room, a voice inside her stirred, pushing her to rise. "Excuse me," Mia called out, her voice breaking through the murmurs. She felt countless eyes on her, and for a brief moment, fear gripped her. But then she thought of Malik, her father, and the community they had been a part of, stitched together by shared pain and resilience. "You don't understand what your decisions do to real people." The courtroom fell hushed as she stood firm, trembling but resolute. Families can't afford to lose their homes while you sit comfortably on your throne of privilege. Her words hung in the air, and Mia felt electricity coursing through her veins. She was suddenly bigger than just herself, but as the powerful often do, Mr. Thompson retaliated. "And who are you to speak here? Just a cashier of the grocery store, right?" His dismissive tone stung, and with it came the chilling sensation of being an outsider. 3 harsh, metaphorical slaps echoed in her heart. Shame, disbelief, and the crushing notion that her struggles didn't matter to those in power. Murmurs erupted. "Who does she think she is? Haven't we all got enough on our plates?" Their words were like daggers thrust into her resolve, and doubt flooded her mind. But with every lash of dismissal, a deeper fire ignited. She wasn't just fighting for herself anymore. She was fighting for every single mother, every veteran struggling to make ends meet, every family fighting over dwindling resources. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. With that realization, Mia felt lighter, almost like she had been freed from an invisible weight. She began reaching out to her neighbors, gathering stories, sharing visions of what their community could become if they stood together. But with each rise in her voice, she faced backlash not just from the townsfolk, but from her estranged brother, who believed too much was at stake to rock the boat. Their next confrontation set the stage for a reckoning. Mia could feel it in her bones, the whispers of hope interlaced with despair. As the court date loomed nearer, the stakes rose, setting the foundation for a change that might break her community apart or bring it together like never before. She knew they were at a pivotal moment. The field was set, and with power being tested, would she be the voice that finally ignited their fight for justice? Mia felt the pulse of her heart, thumping louder than ever. With each day leading up to the court date, she met with neighbors, friends, and anyone willing to listen. Their stories added weight to her own, creating a tapestry of resilience woven tightly with threads of shared struggles. Yet, doubts still lingered in her mind. Would they really unite? One evening, under the dim glow of a street lamp outside the community center, she stood in front of a small gathering. Faces lined with fatigue, yet a flicker of hope shone in their eyes. She cleared her throat. "We can't keep letting people like Mr. Thompson steamroll us. We deserve to be heard." Applause broke out softly, hesitant but present. Their enthusiasm fueled her, lifting her spirits. Maybe they could do this together. She felt like she was igniting something within them, something powerful. But then her brother, Kevin, stepped forward, arms crossed over his chest. "You're stirring up trouble, Mia. This is small-town politics. We can't afford to cause a ruckus. It'll hurt us more than help." His voice carried a weight of warning, almost pleading for her to back down. "I know it's scary, Kevin, but look around you." She gestured to their neighbors, drawn into her cause. "Are we really going to sit back while our families lose everything? What if it was our kids in danger?" The room held its breath, awaiting Kevin's response, knowing he was often the voice of reason. His brows furrowed, a flash of determination battling with his desire to protect their family. "You think I don't want change? I'm worried about the consequences." "Me too, but sometimes you have to stand for what's right, even if the path is dangerous." Mia cried, her voice cracking with emotion. She felt every pair of eyes on her, and for the first time, she knew she had to fight, not just for herself or her community, but for her own family as well. Silence draped over them as Kevin looked around, processing her words. Slowly, he nodded, a flicker of understanding surfacing. "Okay, let us do this together then." The warmth of acceptance spread through Mia. They may not have had the answers, but they had each other. The days passed, and now the courtroom loomed like a dark cloud on the horizon. Each face in the courtroom told a story: the worried mothers, the stoic fathers, and even the children whose future lay at stake. As she entered that chamber for the hearing, determination filled Mia to the brim. As the gavel struck, she felt a rush of adrenaline. Mr. Thompson leaned casually, seemingly unconcerned, the picture of privilege. But Mia rehearsed the words, the stories of her community, each one a thread, pulling her closer to a life-changing moment. "Today," she began, her voice ringing clear, "we stand not just for justice, but for each other." The way she spoke felt like magic coursing through her veins, igniting the room around her. But just then, a figure rose in the back of the courtroom, a familiar face Mia never expected to see. Her mother stood there, her expression a mix of concern and pride, ready to confront the past they had kept buried. What would her mother reveal? Would it strengthen their fight or tear them apart? The tension in the air thickened as all eyes turned toward her, the weight of expectations heavy on their shoulders. Mia took a deep breath, knowing this moment would define everything. Her mother's presence felt like a bolt of lightning, electrifying the room. Mia's heart raced. This was not how she pictured today. Just moments ago, she was ready to face the challenges of the courtroom with her community beside her. Now, the familiar figure of her mother, standing there with a resolve that cut through Mia's confidence like a knife, complicated everything. "Mom." Mia's voice broke slightly, filled with emotions both fierce and tender. The memories of their estrangement rushed through her mind, each one a reminder of the distance that had grown between them. They had never spoken about the past, the reasons that led to this fracture. "Why are you here?" Mia barely managed to choke out, unsure how she felt about this uninvited confrontation. 100 eyes were fixated on them, amplifying the weight of her mother's silence. But her mother moved forward, and the courtroom seemed to hold its breath. Her face shifted from worry to a fierce determination. "I'm here because you need to know the truth. It's about time we spoke about what happened, about what we lost." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The tension hung thick like humid air, and Mia felt it pull at her, 1,000 questions swirling in her mind. What truth? What could possibly matter now when so much was at stake? Today is not just about the land or the lawsuit. Mia, her mother continued, her voice now steady and full of emotion. "It's about standing up, just like you were doing. It's about fighting for our family, our community." The words hit Mia hard. Those very things she fought for so desperately held a deeper significance, ones tied intrinsically to her own family history. The faces around her held diverse stories, but they were all linked by a shared history, a collective strength waiting to surface. As drama unfolded, Mia could feel the weight pressing down on her, urging her to grasp at the threads of their history. "What do you mean, Mom? What happened? I can't explain it all here, but I was afraid. Afraid of dragging you into a past that nearly broke us. I thought hiding was the best way to protect you," her mother said, tears pooling in her eyes. "But now, I see it was a mistake." Emotions welled up in Mia, a confounding mixture of anger and understanding. How could her mother think standing back would shield them? As the words hung in the air, she made a connection, a realization that they had both faced battles alone, isolated by fear. "Mom, I need you to stand with me now. This moment can't just be a moment of reckoning for us, but for everyone who feels powerless." The passion surged in Mia's voice. "These people need to hear your story, too." Her mother blinked, the realization dawning that they were in this together, intertwined in their fight. She nodded, taking a deep breath, as if gathering the strength to reveal secrets lost in time. The atmosphere shifted, the crowd leaning in as they sensed a pivot, a moment of unity being forged from past wounds. Mia's heart raced not just with fear, but also with hope. As her mother stepped forward, ready to unfold her truth, the courtroom hung at a precipice of change. Would this revelation bind them closer together, making their fight stronger? Or would it bring forth old wounds that could divide them once more? The tension built, anxiously awaiting the flood of words that would follow. And Mia couldn't help but wonder, were they ready for the truth? Mia's breath hovered in her throat as her mother squared her shoulders, the air thick with anticipation. The room buzzed like a tightly wound spring, ready to snap at any moment. She could feel the crowd leaning closer, eager to grasp the secrets hidden in her mother's eyes. "Mia," her mother's voice trembled slightly, yet there was a firmness that underpinned her words. "This isn't just about our struggles. This is about the history that binds us, the stories that scar us. It's time you knew what really happened." Mia felt warmth rush through her veins as she nodded, willing her mother to reveal everything. It was a moment not just for healing, but for redemption. "I'm listening," she urged softly, her heart beating against her ribs like a bird desperate to escape its cage. Her mother took a deep breath, wiping away a stray tear with the back of her hand. "Years ago, your grandparents were leaders in this community. They fought for the rights of our people, believing that we could build something better. But they faced fierce opposition. There were threats, intimidation, but they never backed down." Mia felt her interest sharpen, the words igniting a fire within her. This was the story of resilience. She had been searching for the thread that connected her to those who came before her. "What happened?" she whispered, the tension twisting in her stomach. "They were betrayed by someone they considered family. A whispered lie turned into a storm, tearing our family apart, and I was too afraid to revisit the pain of it. I thought, if I stood still, perhaps the darkness wouldn't find us again," her mother confessed, trembling. The courtroom gasped collectively, the weight of her words settling heavily in the air. Mia's gaze bounced around the room, seeing the reactions, the tears, the nods, the shake of heads. People were sharing this moment, resonating with the fear and loss. "Mom, you were wrong to carry that burden alone," Mia said, her voice gaining strength as she stepped closer to her mother. "We can't fix things if we keep hiding from the truth. We need to stand united, not separate. Your story can help others understand the stakes." Taking a deep breath, her mother looked at Mia with newfound resolve. "You're right. Our voices need to be heard. I've watched you fight for this community, and I should have been fighting alongside you all along. I want to share my truth, but I need you to promise me something." "Anything," Mia replied, feeling a rush of hope wash over her. "Promise me that we'll tell our story together, that our family doesn't just exist in the past, but in the future we are fighting for. That the betrayal won't define us, but our love and courage will," her mother implored. Silence enveloped the courtroom as Mia processed her mother's plea, tears stinging her eyes. The weight of generations hovered between them, a shared legacy of pain, but also of power, the chance for healing. "I promise, Mom," Mia whispered fiercely, her heart swelling with a mix of resolve and love. Together, we'll share your truth. For our family, for this community, we'll rise. As her mother took her hand, their clasp radiated warmth, a spark of fate igniting in that moment, a connection mended, a battle readied. The crowd erupted into murmurs, and Mia could sense their renewed energy, their connection to this story redefining their narrative. But then came a sound that none expected. A loud bang echoed across the courtroom, making everyone flinch. The gavel slammed down, demanding order. Enough! The judge bellowed, his flustered expression signaling the disruptive force of the unexpected. This courtroom hears enough of your emotions, but will you still be able to stand together when the real battle begins? Mia's heart dropped at the judge's proclamation. Was unity truly within reach, or was this just the beginning of a greater struggle? Mia's heart raced, each thump echoing her uncertainty. Around her, whispers filled the courtroom like an unsettling breeze. Faces turned to her, searching for strength, for reassurance. She felt her mother's grip tighten, their fingers intertwined, solidifying their bond in the chaos. Will we stand together? She thought fiercely, her mind racing with possibilities. What did that really mean? Could they face the storm of betrayal and fear? But then she noticed someone moving in the crowd. A young woman, eyes wide and hopeful, stepped forward. Mia didn't know her name, but she recognized that this woman reflected the same pain, the same hope. Yes, the woman called out, her voice rising like a beacon. We will stand together. Suddenly, a wave of murmurs rippled through the room. It was as if Mia's heart had leapt into a collective consciousness, everyone awakening to the power they held as a community. Together, echoed another voice, then another. A chorus formed, a growing affirmation that filled the space with energy. Your story matters, someone shouted. With each voice, Mia's resolve strengthened. The scabs of silence and fear that cloaked their community were beginning to peel away, revealing the raw, passionate heartbeat beneath. Just look at them, Mom, Mia said, glancing at her mother. People are ready to fight. They need our truth. Her mother nodded, tears glistening in her eyes, a mix of pride and heartache. It's time to share all of it, Mia, even the parts that hurt. Healing requires honesty. Stepping forward together, hand in hand, they faced the crowd. Mia felt the warmth of her mother's presence. She wasn't alone anymore. The crowd's energy surged as they chanted, "Tell your truth. Tell your truth." Mia's voice shook at first. "This is our legacy," she began, her heart hammering against her ribs. "Our story is woven from pain, resilience, and love. The truth is bitter, but it gives us strength. We will rise together." The crowd erupted, the once muted room coming alive with energy. Tears streamed down Mia's face, a mixture of joy and fear. She caught glimpses of smiling faces, people nodding, their shared histories intertwining in a moment. Mia, her mother's voice, was both soft and fierce. "This community has waited for us. They are ready to listen." Mia inhaled deeply, filling her lungs with courage. The words poured out her grandparents' bravery, the darkness that came after her mother's silence, and the awakening now ignited. Each story was a thread, weaving them together, creating a tapestry of resilience. But just as the energy reached a crescendo, a powerful figure rose from the back of the courtroom, a shadow drawing attention. Eyes widened. The woman's presence was undeniable, commanding, yet layered with an air of threat. "Are you really prepared to take on the forces that will come after this?" she challenged, her voice cutting through the cheers, sharp and cold. Mia's pulse quickened. This was the real battle, the moment of truth looming larger than ever. Her mother squeezed her hand tighter. Determination ignited in both their chests. They could not back down now. This was not just about family history. It was about their identity, their community, their future. Mia straightened, ready to face this powerful adversary, her heart pounding with both fear and defiance. "Yes," she shouted, her voice steady. "We're ready." But the woman shook her head, a teasing smile curling her lips. Let us see how far that courage takes you, and with that, the challenge hung in the air, a heavy pause filled with uncertainty. What lay ahead would test them in ways they had yet to imagine. Would fear win, or could their united voices break through the walls built by betrayal? Mia's heart raced, not just from fear, but also from a sudden surge of defiance. The sharp edge of the woman's challenge pierced through the gathered energy like a knife, but it only seemed to strengthen the resolve among the audience. Faces, once painted with doubt, now lit up with a shared passion, their eyes glimmering with fierce determination. "Who is she?" Mia whispered to her mother, not taking her gaze off the imposing figure. "Someone who has tried to silence us before," her mother replied, her grip firm around Mia's hand. "But we won't let that happen again." There was a swell of murmurs behind them. A collective breath was held, the room brimming with anticipation. The woman at the back, draped in a tailored suit, exuded authority. But even she couldn't drown out the voices rising up from the crowd around Mia. "Your power is in your truth," echoed another brave soul, and the chant picked up again, resonating through the room. "Your truth. Your truth." Mia felt heat surging through her, the echo of those words urging her on. She turned from the woman and took a breath, soaking in the strength emanating from the crowd. This was her moment. "We won't back down," she said, her voice clear and unwavering. "We've been silent for too long." Loud cheers erupted in response. It was as if the spirits of generations past filled the room, lending them their voices. One by one, people began to rise, sharing their histories, their struggles, the heavy weight of unspoken truth. A man stepped forward, sharing tales of his childhood in the neighborhood marked by poverty, the dreams that felt just out of reach, and the sacrifices his family made to push forward. Each story chipped away at the wall the woman had tried to build. Their shared hurt and their hope linked them all, an unbreakable thread weaving through the fabric of their community. As Mia listened, she sensed the power of their collective grief transforming into something unstoppable. This wasn't just her fight anymore. It was everyone's. Their fears were palpable, yet the courage blossomed bravely in the raw air, overcoming silence. Suddenly, the woman stepped down from her perch, striding forward, cutting through the crowd with an intensity that sharpened the atmosphere. "You think you can challenge me?" she hissed, her voice low yet dominating. "You're merely a whisper against a storm." Yet, the crowd replied with a ferocity that startled even Mia. "Raise your voices." They boomed, an unyielding multitude refusing to be quieted. "Look around," Mia shouted, her eyes wild with belief. "We are more than whispers. We are a roar." But the woman sneered, her presence still demanding respect. "Roars die, but whispers endure. Do you understand the cost of truth?" Mia felt a chill, sudden and biting. She thought of all they had lost and all that was at stake. But looking at the faces around her, faces filled with determination, she realized that wasn't true. Fear could be a cage, but together they could shatter it. "We will not be silenced," Mia declared, her voice soaring above the trepidation. "We're ready for whatever comes next." Together, another wave of cheers rippled through like a shockwave, reaching new heights, building strength unexpectedly. The woman's smile turned to a scowl. "Very well," she said, crossing her arms, eyes glinting. "But remember, every action has consequences." Mia's breath hitched. What consequences lurked in the shadows? As the energy surged, a single question bugged at her mind. What was the price they would pay for their unity, and could they withstand the storm that was brewing? That question hung there, heavy and potent. It was clear they were on the brink of something profound. The moment everything could change. But at what cost? The air crackled with tension, and the crowd seemed to expand and contract like a living creature, pulsating together as they faced the woman. Her words hung in the air, dark and heavy, but Mia could sense a fire ignited within everyone around her. Their bravery acted like a beacon, drawing the uncertain closer, reminding them of the strength that lay in connection. Was it enough to shield them from the storm? Mia quickly scanned the crowd, noticing her neighbors, her classmates, and even a few families she had seen enduring the same trials. They were more than mere voices now. They were allies. Each shared truth had built an invisible bond, stronger than anything the woman could unleash. Keep sharing, she urged, her voice now a rallying call. Every story matters. Every voice counts. A young girl stepped forward, trembling yet determined. Her story emerged in stammers about witnessing her father's struggles to make a better life. The pain etched in her features, yet countered by a flicker of hope in her eyes. He always told me to be brave, even when things felt dark, she said, the crowd hanging on her words. That's right, Mia encouraged, feeling her heart swell with admiration. Each voice was a brick, and together they were building something. The crowd echoed back their support, their shared experiences blending into a beautiful, chaotic symphony. Then it happened. A sudden clap of thunder outside caused the power to flicker. For a heartbeat, darkness enveloped them, and an anxious murmur rippled through the audience. But in that fleeting moment of uncertainty, Mia saw something extraordinary. It was as if the darkness amplified the light in the room. People reached for each other, hands interlocking, bringing warmth against fear. When the lights flickered back on, the woman stood seemingly unfazed, but her facade cracked just a little as she witnessed the overwhelming display of unity. The crowd surged with renewed energy. This isn't just about us anymore, Mia declared, voice steady yet filled with passion. This is about every person who has felt unheard, the children, the elders, the stubborn dreamers fighting for something bigger. Together, we're going to drown out your silence. Suddenly, the woman clenched her fists tightly, the flicker of uncertainty giving way to rage. You think this will end well for you? She warned, her voice gaining a dangerous edge. There are rules to this game. Mia stood taller, heart pounding but unwavering. We are ready to rewrite the rules, because when we stand together, we are unstoppable. The crowd erupted, their voices intertwining into a fierce declaration, echoing beyond the walls of the room. It filled the space with a ringing truth that seemed to touch the skies. Mia felt their energy radiate like sunlight piercing through heavy clouds, pushing back the shadows. But just as hope soared, another tremor ran through the space. The walls seemed to shudder, and a sudden gust of wind rustled through, throwing the door wide open. The figures gathered at the threshold did not belong to the usual crowd. They were unfamiliar faces, their expressions inscrutable, bringing with them an air of uncertainty that Mia's heart sank slightly. Who were they? What would they demand? The room stilled momentarily, anticipation thickening around her. Was this the beginning of a new threat, or an unexpected ally entering the fight? As Mia shifted her gaze towards the unexpected arrivals, questions swirled in her mind. Could they strengthen their cause or diminish their newfound hope? The storm was certainly brewing, but who would be swept up in it? Would their unity hold fast against all obstacles ahead? With breath held and uncertainty clear in her heart, Mia prepared for whatever came next. The fight was far from over, and the true battle was just beginning. The new arrivals stepped into the room, cloaked in shadows, as if they carried the weight of 1,000 untold stories. Silence enveloped everyone, the kind that feels heavy and electric. Mia could feel her heart drum in her chest, an unyielding rhythm matching the tension around her. There were 4 of them, 2 men and 2 women, their faces partially obscured by low hats and the dim lighting. But their eyes, sharp and piercing, scanned the crowd with a mix of curiosity and defiance. What do you want? Mia managed to call out, her voice steady despite the fluttering dread in her gut. One of the women stepped forward. Her features were bold and striking. We're here for change, she declared, a spark igniting in her tone. But we need to know, are you willing to risk it all? Mia's eyes narrowed, unsure if this was an act of solidarity or a challenge. The energy in the room shifted, veering dangerously close to chaos. People began whispering, glancing at each other, searching for reassurance. Risking it all is the only way we can make a difference. A voice chimed from the crowd. It was a man with salt and pepper hair. His eyes gleamed with fire. I've lost too much to stand back now. The crowd echoed his sentiment, a wave of agreement rippling through. The woman nodded, a slight smile creeping over her face. You're right, she responded, her tone softening. But change comes at a cost. We aren't naive about it. You must understand the risks involved. Mia felt an urge to step in, to rally the troops, to remind them of how far they had already come. We waited for someone to demand change. We all tasted the bitterness of silence, and we know we must face it together. What we need from you is clarity. What kind of change do you envision? The figures shifted, and the man beside the woman articulated, We've seen what you're building here, and it's powerful. But our fight goes beyond these walls, beyond your community. It's a storm that's raging through our entire country. Mia felt a knot tighten in her chest. But we can't just march forward blindly. We need a plan. Plans are rooted in trust, the woman interjected. Trust in each other and the shared hardships. Your struggle is not just yours. We're connected in this fight. Her words hung in the air, a ripple of recognition striking a note in everyone's hearts. Mia felt a shift. The tension that gripped them was slowly morphing into something else resolve. Then let us trust each other. Let us harmonize our voices and experiences into an anthem for everyone feeling unheard. Suddenly, thunder rumbled again outside, reverberating through the walls, shaking them like the memories of those suffering. The crowd's murmurs turned into a growing roar of agreement, voices swelling like a tide. But in that moment of unity, Mia felt a chill. Doubling down on this newfound collaboration meant confronting something more significant than mere words. They were standing on the edge of a decision that would alter the course of their collective destiny. As the last murmurs transitioned into a powerful chant of Together We Rise, she caught a glimpse of the woman in the front line, her expression glimmering with the edges of doubt once more. What lay ahead was not just a collaboration, but a storm that might wash away everything they built. Mia understood then that this was just the beginning. The question loomed, would their unity stand against the true test approaching them? With a firm resolve swelling in her chest, Mia prepared to lead them into the unknown, her heart thudding with hope mixed with an edge of fear. The ground beneath them quaked, not just from the thunder outside, but from the realization that the true battle was now upon them. Would they brave that storm together? Mia stood at the center, the weight of the gathered souls pressing in on her. Each chant of Together We Rise echoed deeply, mingling with the thunder outside, as if the world itself was demanding change. She could feel the energy coiling among the crowd, a living, breathing entity ready to explode. As the voices rose, the woman with bold features seized the moment. Let us lay out our vision, she urged, her commanding presence pulling the crowd closer. What do we stand for? What do we want to change? Mia took a deep breath, shaping her thoughts into words. We need to build a community where everyone feels safe, heard, and valued. Every voice in the room felt significant, but she recognized her own passion burning stronger. We want justice. We want accountability. A murmur ricocheted through the crowd, igniting a fire in their hearts. The man with salt and pepper hair raised his hand, his brow furrowed. But what about the consequences? What if we fail? Failure is not an option. Another voice shouted from the back, trembling with emotion. We've already lost too much, we can't go back. Mia glanced toward the mysterious group in the shadows, her eyes catching the glimmer of understanding in their expressions. The bold woman nodded, an approval dawning in her gaze. You speak the truth, but it's going to take every single one of us together. The room shivered with anticipation, excitement replacing initial anxiety. It was a leap of faith in a dark world, and every heartbeat seemed to signal the importance of the moment. As the thunder cracked again, a bolt of lightning illuminated the room through the windows, momentarily blinding them, casting flickering shadows. It was as if nature itself was amplifying their emotions. Mia felt a rush of exhilaration. They stood on the edge of history. Imagine a world where our children can play without fear. She pushed on, channeling the undercurrent of hope swirling among them. The energy in the room buzzed, wrapping around Mia like a comforting blanket. Where we don't have to look over our shoulders every step of the way, a woman from the back added, tears in her eyes but a smile on her lips. The crowd responded, murmuring in agreement, their faces lit with newfound determination. Yet, as she reveled in the tide of momentum, a sudden realization knotted in her stomach. But how do we do this? What does brave really look like? The bold woman stepped forward again, her face tense. Bravery comes in many forms, Mia. It's expressing our pain. It's showing up even when we want to hide. It's fighting when it feels like we're losing. The moment felt fragile. Mia knew they could just as easily slip back into complacency if they didn't grasp the gravity of what lay ahead. But if we lean into our truth, if we are willing to open ourselves up, we can gather the strength of our scars. She continued, a fierce resolve igniting in her tone. It will hurt, but it will also heal. The crowd gasped, her words igniting something primal within them. Heartbeats synced, and Mia's fear transformed into something powerful, a glimmer of hope twisting into wildfire. Will you dare to walk this path with us? Mia challenged, her voice steadier now, reaching every soul in the room. Will you dare to face the coming storm? The thunder rumbled again, a promise of change crackling through the air. The crowd responded with shouts of agreement, voices harmonizing into a tapestry of resolve. As the meeting intensified, voices soaring, Mia's eyes drifted back to the woman who had sparked this all. There was power in her vulnerability, hope in her challenge. Yet, doubt lingered in her eyes, begging for reassurance. Mia felt a swell of emotion. This was more than just a fight outside. It was a journey within. They had to confront their own fears head dash on. As the chant erupted again, their battle cry resonating louder than the thunder outside, Mia knew the real storm they faced wasn't just looming in the skies. It was within each heart, waiting to be ignited. But what would they discover about themselves when the storm finally broke? As the voices in the courtroom reached a fever pitch, fueled by shared determination and dreams of a better future, Mia felt a spark of energy coursing through her veins. The rain outside intensified, drumming against the windows, mirroring the chaos of emotions swirling inside. The room, once filled with collective fear, transformed into a sanctuary of resilience. Mia opened her arms wide, her heart racing with purpose. Together, we can create a community where every voice matters, where every story is heard. This isn't just about me or my mother. It's about all of us. No more whispers. We'll be a chorus. Cheers erupted, echoing against the walls, igniting the spirit of unity. She spotted Kevin in the crowd, pride shining in his eyes. He had taken a chance on her. They had chosen to stand together, risking everything for their mother's and their community's forgotten stories. As the energy surged, Mia caught the eye of the bold woman with the unwavering spirit, as if she could sense her doubts. What happens if they fight back? Mia asked, her voice steady but laced with concern. The woman stepped forward, drawing strength from the crowd. They may try to silence us, but together, we are louder than their threats. With each heartbeat, anxiety faded, replaced by the clarity of purpose. We've faced storms before. We're stronger than we know, Mia asserted, realizing the truth in her words. The crowd erupted once more, chanting, "Together we rise. Together we rise." Every voice joined in a beautiful symphony, a crescendo of hope rising into the stormy sky. Lightning flashed outside, illuminating the faces within, each one showcasing a mosaic of determination. And Mia knew this was their moment of transformation. This was the moment they would challenge the legacy of silence. Remember, this isn't just about today, she continued, her voice unwavering. It's about our children, their future, and the stories we leave behind. Are we ready to fight for that? Yes. The crowd roared, their collective spirits swelling like a tidal wave, crashing against the barriers put in place by years of oppression and fear. Mia felt electric, her heart thumping in rhythm with the crowd. The woman at the forefront raised her fist, a powerful symbol of solidarity. Then we will fight together. Let our voices shake the very ground beneath us. Let our truth drown out their silence. Caught in that whirlwind of emotion, Mia's eyes caught her mother's, who gazed back with tears of pride. Their shared history had become a rallying cry. The hurt, the betrayal, it was all part of a beautiful tapestry woven with resilience and determination. And just as the storm outside reached its peak, the courtroom filled with palpable energy, a wave of passion that pulsed with each heartbeat. They were no longer individuals sharing stories. They had morphed into one unstoppable force. This was their legacy, and together they would rise. Suddenly, the doors swung open again, and the room was met with the cold rush of wind. But this time, unknown figures emerged, not enemies, but a coalition of allies, other communities who had pinned their hopes on this very moment. They joined the chant, and it transformed into a potent anthem that soared beyond the confines of the courtroom and into the soul of Maplewood. Together we rise. Together we rise. Echoed through the streets. More than just a fight for justice, it was a movement, a revolution ignited. Mia felt her resolve solidify. They were here for more than just this lawsuit. They were fighting for a future, one where every child could play, dream, and thrive without fear. This wasn't a moment of reckoning alone. It was a defining shift that would shake the very foundations of their community. The rain poured with newfound vigor, cleansing the world around them, fueling their fire. Each drop whispered promises of hope, of change. Standing shoulder to shoulder with her family and newfound friends, Mia knew her heart was free, soaring high above the doubts that once held her back. As the last echoes of their chant faded into the stormy night, Mia felt the warmth of connection wash over her, binding her to those around her in a web of shared dreams and stories waiting to unfold. They were ready for whatever storm lay ahead, together, one powerful voice that would not be silenced. In that moment, Mia understood not the end, but the beginning of something truly beautiful. The journey was just starting, and it was a journey they would face together, emboldened by their truth. And as the lights dimmed around them, filled with the promise of change, Mia's mind raced with visions of the future, a future forged by unity, fueled by courage, and illuminated by love. The storm had brought them together, and they would rise, no matter the cost. Transform lives. Click subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that inspire change. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread this message far and wide. Comment below your reactions. Your thoughts, let us know how you felt about this powerful ending. And don't wait, not even one more second, to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Only true fans know the importance of supporting this channel. So show your love today.